Gonna cook a favourite today. And when I say a favourite, I've got probably about 20 favourites. But this is the third time we've cooked these in, what, 2 or 3 months? We've got some Tomaporks. First time we cooked these was on a tiny little fire pit when we were camping up in the forest in North Wales in the camper van. And we had to light a second fire pit because these Tomaporks were so big. I think the first ones we got were nearly 1 kilo each. These are only half a kilo each. But the size of them, they're just ginormous. But they turned out so good. And I used this cowboy butter rub on them as well. So as I mentioned, we've got some Tomapork from our mate Yorkshire Craft Butchery, Butcher Gav. This one's 600 grams and that one's just over 600 grams. This is a Weber XL tray. I didn't know they did an XL tray, and I think it's about the same width as the standard size tray, but longer. That just about fits in. Always really nicely packaged, this meat as well. I don't know what this stuff is, but I like it. It's like paper. So what Gav has done to this is he's took the skin off and scored the fat all the way around. I cooked these last time and he hadn't have done this. And I cooked them and it just kind of curled up a little bit. But if you do get these, whether they're from the same butcher or a different butcher, always score the fat, because it just enables it to stay nice and flat on the grill. Now we have both Tomaporks unwrapped. I'm going to take that off. Gloves are so handy, they really are. They're not just a YouTubey thing. Favourite of ours, favourite of mine, Lumberjaxe Yeehaw Cowboy Butter. It's a mega. It's got all kinds of bits and bobs in there. So we'll get a good helping of this on here. Use this on the Scotch eggs. If you haven't watched that, go and have a look. It's an amazing video, but Scotch eggs are so good. And this rub suits the Scotch eggs really, really well. Right, that should do us. What I'm going to do is leave them in the fridge for as long as it takes for the barbecue to get lit and set up to temperature, and then we're away. If anyone's ever noticed that I go quiet when I'm cooking outside, and I used to wonder the same about the lad, I think his name's Dave from Wilson's Barbecue. He used to talk at a normal volume in his kitchen, and then you'd hear him go outside and he'd be like talking like that. And I'm the same, because in the kitchen I quite happily talk, but in the garden everyone can hear you. We've got loads of gardens. We live in a fairly modern housing estate here, and there's about 7 gardens all backing onto ours, and everyone can hear you. And if anyone just popped their head over the fence, they just, what's that weirdo doing? But that's going to change in the next few months. We've sold this house and we're moving to the countryside. We've got 1/3 of an acre, and the garden is potentially really private. And we're going to get a nice sheltered barbecue area built in there and everything, so it's going to be mega. I still had some Weber briquettes in the bottom of this barbecue from, what did I cook? I did beef cheeks, but I did a bad job of them, so I didn't bother continuing with the video. They were alright, but the outside was a bit overcooked and it wasn't too inspiring. So I'm coming towards the end of my bag of Big K charcoal. Desperately need to go and get some more. Someone did say there's a place in Liverpool that sells them, Saka wholesalers. I went there, but you have to fill in an application form, and I thought, I sod that. So I'm going to go up to Alfresco Chapel and pick up some up. Look at the size of that. What we're going to try and do is create a 2-zone cooking method. So I'm just going to slip a few of these little wool things in here. Give that 20 minutes and see how we get on. And can you see how all these coals are lighting up nicely now? We've got a cool zone here and a hot zone here. Grill on, no deflector plate. We're going to have the Tomaporks around this side with the fat facing the heat to render it nicely. and just get a bit of temperature in them, and then at the end give them a bit of a sear. Right, open that vent a little bit. Want it ideally here, 350 Fahrenheit, 170-ish Celsius. Clean the grill, and got the meat. These XL trays from Weber, they might be bigger, but they're definitely flimsier. They're shit. So here we've got the fat facing the heat. Heat is all here. Get the fat there. Give them 20 minutes. I'll check the temperature, see how we're getting on. So it's taking on a nice colour. So what we're going to do, flip them over, but continue to keep the fat towards the heat. Give it another 10 minutes, and then I reckon we'll give it a good sear. Oh, look at the colour on them. Look at that. God, probably can't see it because it's getting dark, but get a bit of heat in these. Just a little sear. Always have a cool zone, because if something like that happens and it gets a bit out of control, just take your meat away from the heat. Slightly over, but we don't mind that being slightly over because these are juicy as anything. No. Good boy. Good boy. So our tomahawks are now rested, ready to eat. I'm not going to do the old scrumptious chopping into it and tasting it and showing you how scrummy they are, because trust me, they are stunning. I'm going to keep it quick because it's really warm tonight. The windows and doors are open, the flies are coming in because the lights are on. But you get a combination of pork meat and then a little bit of belly fat, and when you get a little mouthful of those two together, they are outstanding. The rub works really, really well as well. So give them a try yourself. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.